Now, before Greta Thunberg and Extinction Rebellion, there was another environmental activist making headlines.
Back in the 90s, Dan Hooper, or Swampy, as he was nicknamed by the press, went to extreme lengths to get his voice heard.
And now, with government under more pressure than ever to tackle climate change, Swampy is back. We'll be speaking to him in just a moment, but before we do, let's remind ourselves of his rise to fame.
Well, we've given him VIP access to our This Morning forest today. Hi, Dan.
Hello.
Hiya.
Morning.
So, you've been out of the public eye for over 20 years now. Why now? Why the return to protesting right now?
Well, it's because climate change absolutely needs tackling right now. And the government announced this massive road building programme. HS2 is happening, all these acts of ecocide. And I just couldn't sit back and watch it happening. Protest works, basically.
Mm-hmm. You never actually stopped being an activist. You're still involved, you know, sort of in various ways, not quite as publicly obvious. Did you feel what made you stop? Did you feel that, you know, your fame was almost distracting from the message?
Not really. That wasn't the reason I stopped. I stopped doing public things and, you know, protesting. I changed my name back to Dan from Swampy, and because it became a little bit embarrassing. But, you know, I carried on protesting at that time, just not publicly. And then I had kids. So, you know, obviously, family comes first at that point, doesn't it?
You're off-grid, aren't you, in Wales, pretty much?
Yes, yeah. We have solar panels. We do a lot of or try and grow as much veg as we can. You know, we try and live a low-impact lifestyle, if we can, you know, as much as possible.
So, you have a history, Dan, of using tunnels as a means of protesting. Now, you returned to this method back in January. Can you tell me a little bit about the HS2 protest? And were you worried for your own safety at any point?
Yeah, well, I actually did 2 tunnel evictions in the last year, and both of them, you know, obviously we shored the tunnel. We tried, you know, we made it as safe as possible, and you know, at no point did I feel in any danger whatsoever. You know, we make it safe.
Well, you've got a 17-year-old son, Rory, and you took him with you as well. So, I mean, that in itself, you must have thought it was safe, because that's a bit risky if it's not.
Yes, I mean, you know, Rory wanted to do the tunnel eviction. He's very into the environmental cause, you know, and you know, but that was in some ways that was the main reason I went down, was because I wasn't going to let Rory go down by himself at his age. But you know, he's young, you know, and he needs a voice too, you know, because it's their future, isn't it?
People like Extinction Rebellion and Greta, who we mentioned in the introduction, sort of picked up that baton and flying with it. What about Extinction Rebellion's tactics? Because that's also, as you have done, that is disruptive.
Well, yeah, I mean, things can be disruptive, but you know, climate change is going to be very disruptive. You know, what we do. The minor disruption that might happen for an Extinction Rebellion protest is nothing compared to what's going to happen with climate change. You know, people's homes are getting flooded, tornadoes, you know. It's only going to get worse. So, you know, really, you know, a minor bit of inconvenience for people sometimes, you know, it's nothing compared to what we're trying to actually put a stop to. Protest works, you know, this is...
You can't, absolutely, you can't get anything done by sitting in your garden doing nothing,
Absolutely
can you?
yeah.
But the Home Office spokesman has said freedom to protest is a fundamental right. Current laws to manage highly disruptive protests are out of date and not fit for purpose. And new measures in the police crime sentencing and courts bill are designed to tackle the selfish minority of protesters who are highly disruptive and whose actions endanger the public. And as we said, you can't protest and nothing be done, nothing happens. Sort of sit in your protest in your sitting room, sitting on the sofa. But does it work? Because so many of these things that that you've so vehemently protested towards have still happened.
But the road building programme was stopped. Women now have the vote. Racism and homophobia are not acceptable anymore. These things have all happened through protest. What if someone wants to protest about them privatising the NHS? And the government, with these new laws, they get to say what we protest about. Government-sanctioned protest is OK, but if we want to, say we're against something, we need to have a voice. This is our voice. All the parties are pretty much the same. No one could really argue that, Every 4 to 5 years we get a vote. In between time, they could do what the hell they want without protest. This is our voice. This is the people's voice. And if we can only do government-sanctioned protest, that's a dictatorship. This law has to stop. We can't allow this to go through. They can name people that they don't want to turn up to protests and arrest them if they go to protests. You could get done for having, they could stop and search a vehicle if they think they've got placards in the back with these laws. So it's illegal to live on a protest site with these laws. We really have to stop this. It's the police crime and sentencing bill, and not enough's been said about this.
Point well made.
We really need to stop this.
Dan, thank you, as always. Thank you very much indeed for talking to us today.
Thank you.
And look after our forest, please. Thank you, mate.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Pleasure. Right.